reactions, takes, Cam Johnson, fan-submitted trades, all the above. Head over to our page. You can find the Ultimate Cavs Show on there now. Speaking of yesterday's game, guys, since losing to OKC, the Cavs have roared back with 2 consecutive wins over playoff teams in the Western Conference to beat the Timberwolves on Saturday night. They held the top 10 offensive-minded Suns to fewer than 100 points yesterday. 3 storylines from last night's game. I want your take on what you think was the biggest. Winning without Mobley, who now has a calf strain. It was upgraded from calf soreness. The fact they held the Suns under 100 points, which doesn't happen too frequently in today's NBA. Or Donovan Mitchell bouncing back with back-to-back 30-point performances, including 33 yesterday in the win.
Well, Donovan said he didn't play well. He said he was upset about his performance. He said he did well on defense, but he wasn't necessarily happy with his offensive performance, which 33 points. 11 for 25 ain't great.
Yeah.
So I guess I
and the
understand
night
why,
before the game
why
against
he
Minnesota,
said
he shot terribly from 3
Yeah.
again. But go ahead.
But holding them under 100 points, though, in today's basketball, with those guys that they got over there, with the Kevin Durant, who's, if I remember correctly, he's still top 5 in scoring, right, Mikey?
Sorry, I was
Durant's still top
Kevin
5 in
Durant's
scoring.
still top 5.
Yeah, I believe so, and they did a really good. I mean, he was efficient last night, but they made him work for his shots.
Yeah,
And
he's
Niang
averaging
did an awesome
27
job
a game.
playing
Yeah,
defense.
so him, the Devin Booker, I think the game before that, he had a really big game, so he was probably still a little hot and feeling himself. Bradley Beal, I don't even count him no more. So I think he want to be traded. But holding that Phoenix team under 100 points to me is impressive because we so much talk about this offense and how the Cavaliers, everybody gets their shots, how they're swinging the ball, and we don't really spend a lot of time talking about them defensively because we just know that can't nobody keep up with us scoring. But to see them actually go out there and play some good defense, contest these shots, make guys work for these baskets, that's very inspiring. I remember McNuggets was teaching us about teams that win it all got to be top 5 in one and top 10 in the other category. And the Cavs, to me, yesterday showed why they are a team that really can win it all. I know somebody was asking me the other day, do you really believe the Cavs can do it? And I'm like, yeah. And if they mess around and get Cam Johnson, I really believe it.
It's interesting that the Cavs are able to do this against such a powerful offensive team. And the Cavs were able to get it going offensively.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cases, you would think that a team like the Cavaliers maybe played down a little bit because they were having an off night. Obviously, Phoenix, not taking anything away from the Cavaliers' defense. Mm-hmm. But those day games on MLK Day are tough to get up for, And the Cavs did. I was proud of the way that they performed in this game. And, you look at the amount of shots. Like, the Suns only shot 77 shots. The Cavs shot 95.
Yep.
They created 17 turnovers. And they got 15 points off those turnovers. So they were locking it down and frustrating a team that's a good team. I don't think they're a great team. I think they're good players or a sum of maybe some great players with Booker and with Durant. But the Cavs are just continuing to impress. They've had a couple of off nights here, which I think they're coming back to earth a little bit, which is going to happen as we approach the All-Star break. But overall, man, they just continue to night in and night out dominate.
Man, they had to get over that Oklahoma City Thunder joint, man. Now, listen, I think that was the first game there was level of disappointment in the energy level. The energy wasn't there. They kind of got pushed around a little bit.
Donovan was in the Dortcher chain.
Yeah, he got pushed around, and Cass was questioning. I'm going to just be honest with you, man. They like, look, Donovan, you done had a couple of games where bad shooting nights, you done disappeared a little bit, people questioning whether or not, are you injured? Are you getting to the rim? And so the last couple of games, 30-plus points, I like where that's at. See, sometimes we get caught in the efficiency stuff too much. I get it. Y'all, everybody want to be a very efficient. Nah, listen, do what it takes to win a damn game. Sometimes you got to be aggressive. I want you aggressive, especially when one of your other guys ain't out. So if Mobley is out, don't let a team sit around and you trying to get your other guys involved and then all of a sudden Durant or Booker get hot. No. Let's go ahead and be aggressive. I don't care if you got to take 25 shots. The bottom line is when you can get it going and you can give them a little bit of a lead, now your other guys can come in and follow behind and they understand what type of time we on. I like the fact that Jalen Tyson got some buckets. He got an opportunity to play. I liked what he was doing. He pulled up with confidence. So, when your best player is playing like that, you can get younger guys. And you can see Jalen Tyson being hungry. Like you're like, listen, we playing these dudes in practice. We playing against some of the best dudes in the world. We got the best record in the league. These guys are playing against those guys in practice. So you get Jalen Tyson getting minutes. Ty Jerome, stepped up, played well, 8 points. I think it's just the fact that I like to set the tone. I like to set what it's about, and I thought Donovan Mitchell did a good job of making sure his team wasn't going to fall into a malaise early.
I think, to me, it was the defense, and it was just bouncing back because they had played a not great game against Indiana, right? Mm-hmm. And then they bounced back and beat Indiana. And then they got humiliated by Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And they had not been humiliated all season. And so you had their two worst losses in a 3-game stretch. And so I wanted to see how they would bounce back from that. And they bounced back well. Minnesota and Phoenix are not great teams, but they're both good teams. Minnesota was in the Western Conference Finals last year. I know they haven't been as good this year, but they're still good. And if Kevin Durant's your best player, your floor is pretty high of how bad you might be. So you just beat two good teams, and you showed, okay, yeah, we were terrible against Oklahoma City. Whatever happened, we got humiliated. We're not going to let us spiral in a bad way. So I thought that was good, and especially the game against Phoenix yesterday, when, as you said, Dustin, like playing an afternoon game for an NBA, like you don't play a lot of afternoon NBA games. Yeah, on a weekday.
Maybe a Sunday.
Yeah, like never.
You could have been Dallas and the Hornets where they were playing at noon.
Oh yeah, right. Like it's just uncommon. It's like Christmas and MLK Day. That's about it.
And it's tough for a West Coast team like Phoenix to come east and then play at 3:30, even more of a time.
That's true. It's much harder for the West Coast teams. Speaking of which, did anybody see what's the coach? Mick Cronin. Is he the coach of UCLA?
Yes.
Did you see him go off on a reporter? Because
he's been doing a lot of things in press conferences recently.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I thought it was a little too much, but
he went off on his team about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
called him soft, and then there was another couple things that he said. So yeah, I mean he's been
he looked crazy.
Yeah, he's a hell of a coach, but he is crazy.
Well, he was like the reporter said, we all know it's hard for West Coast teams to go to the East. He said, you think it's also hard for East Coast teams to go to the West? And he was so pissed off at that question because he's like, we got to go East all the time. They only have to go West once. There's a lot more teams in the – I don't know. Anyway, he was pissed off. But it's the point, yes, it's a major disadvantage for the Western teams. But the Cavs, because they've been a little up and down lately, could have had a game, afternoon game. Maybe they were sloppy, but they were not. And I thought the defense, especially without Mobley, you mentioned it before, but we haven't really talked about it much. He's dealing with an injury. Mobley's their best defender, obviously. So to beat a good team in Phoenix with one of the best players in the history of basketball and to make it a tough night for him on some level and play that well when you're missing this guy, I thought that to keep them under 100 points was really impressive.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to hit on the Donovan side, what I've been impressive about, what's been impressive about Donovan, maybe not so much in this past game, but the Minnesota game, without them having Mobley, I think he's aware, like, all right, I got to do this now. And he's been
his volume's been way up.
On the rebounding side.
Yeah,
the dude is shorter than me, and this dude be going out there. I think he had like 8. Did he have like 8 boards against Minnesota or something like that?
I think it was 9.
Like, dude.
It was more than usual. He had 5 last night, and then
9,
against Minnesota he had 8 rebounds.
Like, I respect.
No, he had 9 in another game then. I don't know. He's had a lot of rebounds lately.
Yeah, he had 9 against Indy in the win.
Okay.
Like he does, he knows when somebody's down. He knows when we're going to be lacking in the area, and he like excels his play in that area, so it's like no void there. And I actually appreciate that because, star players be like, you know what, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. He has no problem of switching his game around to help fill the void. So I actually respect Donovan a lot for doing it.
I got no concern about Donovan whatsoever. He's been in a little bit of a shooting slump. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And he even said, as you said, Tyvis, that he's not happy with his offensive play. Good. How many superstars are you going to hear admit that they're not happy with their offensive play?
Especially when they scored 33 that day.
Right. Like, nobody would have said anything negative, but Donovan,
he keeps it real.
He's real smart. He really has a good sense of how he's playing, and he's again. I don't know the guy. Maybe he's a dick in real life. I doubt it. But
I mean, we only know him in
I'm saying but like he seems like the most down to earth, keeping it real superstar. that we've seen in a long time in the NBA.
Well, he's got a beautiful lady. That's all I know. She's beautiful, gorgeous.
Damn.
One
stalking
The
Donovan's girl.
boy got good taste. I can compliment. He got good taste. What?
One thing on the game yesterday.
I gotta
She
look.
is cold.
Now I gotta Google it.
Coco Jones
Coco
is
Jones.
fired, bro.
Who is she? Is she famous?
She just sang at the. She just did the national anthem for the game yesterday.
Oh, really?
For the national championship.
Look at
game.
him.
While Bull's looking that up, one thing on the game yesterday that I think is worth noting, Mobley's offensive progression has given the Cavs a counterpunch to when their jump shots aren't falling. Without Mobley the last 2 games, they've relied a ton on the jump shot. And even last night, they scored 118, but they only scored 34 points in the paint. 84 points or 86 points, whatever the number is, came on jump shots and free throws. Mobley, when he's not there, just changes the complexion of how this offense functions, and I think that may be a better indication of how much progress he's made offensively than any of the traditional box score stats. And I want to give Tristan Thompson a shout out because he played 25 minutes yesterday and played his ass off, played really, really well. And when they don't have either Mobley or Allen, it is falling on Tristan Thompson's shoulders right now to be that backup big. And last night, TT played very, very well, and I see Bull smirking. So
He had to rotate the phone.
Well, 'cause
dark chocolate right there.
She apparently gets mistaken for what's her name? Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
She's
No disrespect to Jennifer Hudson. But I don't see it.
That's what she said. Coco Jones says she gets
Like, I
mistaken
can
for
see
Jennifer
why
Hudson.
somebody would say something like that.
Hey, what I can't see though on a segue
He
is
said, "Don't dis-"
no. I don't Jennifer. Don't give me.
By the way,
disrespect.
99% of the time when people say no disrespect, they're about to disrespect.
100%.
Hey man, I don't know. I don't know why this is going on, McNuggets. Explain to me, like Tyvis brought it up. Explain to me how the Cavs are leading in the clubhouse in Vegas to get Cam Johnson.